Okay, everybody, this is our last video on the lower extremity. So in the previous video, we talked about the femur and the tibia. Those are the primary weight-bearing bones of the leg, but we also have a bone in our lower leg called the fibula, and its primary job is to be a strut for muscle attachments. This weight doesn't actually bear much weight. It might bear a little bit, but primarily it's here for muscle attachments. So let's go ahead and start labeling. Now, for the head of the fibula, rather than coloring it in, I'm just going to put a circle around it. That's the head. The styloid process is, you can see a little point sticking out of the top of the head. So we'll color that in blue. I'm being careful not to get that little facet right there. For the neck, we can just simply put a line here. But just recognize that it's at an entire circumference of that piece of bone. So on the model, if you saw me draw a circle around this thin area here, that means fibular neck. And then the last structure on the proximal end is the tibial facet. And the tibial facet is right there. And that is to articulate with the tibia. So I'll draw it here as well. So on the tibial side, it's called the fibular facet, and on the fibular side, it's called the tibial facet. I have some good news for you all. I'm going to go ahead and cross out the fibular borders, so the shaft section. The fibular borders are, it's not that they're difficult, it's just without a real bone for you guys to see right up close, not in a video, and actually to be able to feel the ridges on it. I just don't think it's fair to quiz you all on that. So don't worry about that. So let's jump to the distal end. The distal end, the main structure, the bulk of it is the lateral malleolus. So if you remember that the tibia had a medial malleolus, the fibula is the lateral, or has a lateral malleolus. So that's it in pink. You can go ahead and color it in here. I'm going to leave a little do we have a structure here that I'm worried about blocking? We kind of do. Okay, so I'm just going to color right like that. Okay, that's the lateral malleolus. Then we have the lateral malleolar facet, which is what I was just worried about blocking or covering with pink. And it's right here. Lateral malleolar facet. And then the last part is the malleolar fossa. Malleolar fossa, which we will label right here. And this is kind of on the medial side, posterior, so I'm coloring it on a posterior view. And that's it for the fibula. That should be a pretty easy one for you guys. The tough part about the fibula is the shaft, as well as determining right or left, and we won't be doing either of that, so it should be a simple one. Let's jump to our last two slides that cover the foot. So we'll start off with the tarsals. If you remember, the hand had carpals. So now we're talking about tarsals. And it's I would say easier than the hand because they're bigger and they're pretty unique. There's no confusing the calcaneus with the tailless unless you just forget the word. So let's go ahead and start with the tailless. The tailless is the bone that your tibia and fibula, your tibia primarily, sit on. It's a part of your ankle joint. Your tibia is one half of your ankle joint, and your tailless is the other half. So there it is, the Tailless. Now, unlike the carpals, we're going to label a few things, and we will make some decisions because some of these are going to be kind of tough to do. So you know what I'm going to do actually? This is kind of breaking the rules, I'm sorry, but I'm going to label the trochlea of the Tailless on the next slide. If you guys remember the trochlea of the humerus, it kind of looked like this, like a spool of thread. There it is. That is the trochlea of the Tailless. So you might want to write on your notes next page or something. We can't see it here. Okay, so the next one, medial and lateral malleolar facets and medial and lateral tubercles, we'll go ahead and label those on the model. We may end up crossing it off, I'm not sure yet, so just stay tuned for the video and the model. Okay, groove for FHL, that's another one for the model video, so if you just want to write model next to that. Head, neck, and body is easy enough, so let's divide that up with maybe just a black pen. So the head is very clear if you're looking at the Tailless by itself. There's an actual articular head right here that articulates with the navicular and is called the head. Behind that is the neck, so this region is the neck, and then the rest is the body. So those three pieces comprise the whole thing, the whole Tailless. Let's go ahead and look at the calcaneus. Again, unfortunately, I just don't think the drawing is going to do it justice, so let's just go ahead and outline the calcaneus there in black. All three of these, with the exception, I suppose, of the fibular trochlea, which is right here, they actually labeled it, that's nice, which is a little kind of ridge that the fibula can articulate with. I promise we'll do an in-depth look on the model video. Let's go to the navicular. Navicular, you can actually feel the navicular tuberosity on the inside of your foot, which means we won't be able to see it here because this is a lateral view. But the tuberosity is on the inside of your foot. There's a little knob, right, kind of at the height of the arch on the medial side of your foot, and you can feel that typically. The cuboid is lateral, so we can see that one really well. It's right here. There's a cuboid. The fibular groove is inferior, and the oblique ridge is this little tuberosity sticking out the side. It's going to get messy. Let's just, again, utilize the models for that. The cuneiforms, in this video, or in this photo, we can see cuneiform 2 and cuneiform 3. They're named medial to lateral. So cuneiform 1 is just on the other side here. So we can go ahead and outline cuneiform 3 and cuneiform 2. 1 is just medial to 2. And that is it for the tarsals. There was a lot we couldn't see here. I apologize. We'll take a really in-depth look on the model. Probably tired of hearing that, sorry. Okay, so metatarsals and phalanges. Just like the hand that had metacarpals and phalanges, they're numbered from medial to lateral. So this would be the first metatarsal, the second that's a 1 on accident, sorry. Oh, actually, let's do this. Let's just label the ray, the whole ray, which includes the metatarsal and the phalanges. So we have metatarsal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they have a base, a shaft, and a head, just like the metacarpals in our hand. And we have the same configuration of phalanges. In this case, the big toe is sort of acting like our thumb, which has a distal phalange and a proximal phalange, while all the others have a proximal, middle. Oops. Did you catch my mistake? That was a metatarsal. All the others have a proximal, middle, and distal. I know it's tough to see, sorry. So just a little preview, if there was a quiz, if I put a X right here, you would say that is the middle phalanx 3, or the third middle phalanx. Either of those are okay. Oh, and then one little last structure here that I passed was the tuberosity of the fifth metatarsal. This is another thing you might be able to feel on your foot. Here it is. It's a little bump on the side here. Tuberosity of the fifth metatarsal. You have some muscles that attach there. Let's add the tarsal labels while we're here. I think that's easy enough. So maybe try to use the same colors you used on the last slide. But I'm going to go ahead and label the calcaneus right here. The Tailless is sitting on top of it. So we can outline the Tailless as well. Remember that blue area is just the trochlea of the Tailless. Directly in front of the Tailless is the Navicular. And then we have the medial cuneiform, or cuneiform 1, or first cuneiform. Any of those are acceptable. Then lateral to that, we have the intermediate cuneiform, or cuneiform 2. And then lateral to that, we have the third cuneiform, or lateral cuneiform. And then the last bone, what color will work? We'll do the blue. Right here is cuboid. So there are the tarsals. Make sure you know that this is 1. The blue area of the Tailless is just the trochlea. The whole pink area is the Tailless. Okay guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the model. Thanks.